Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another video. So we just got information on the next main set, the next core booster in Series 13, which is the follow-up to Doom of Dimensions, where of course we got some cool Akaba Reiji cards, and we kind of knew based on the name Burst Protocol that it was probably going to have to do with Revolver and his Boral and Rokket cards, and that is exactly what we got. We got the first wave of this set, we got the cover card, and it is indeed the man himself, the rival of Yugioh VRAINS, Revolver, getting a bunch of new cards. Now, I will start by saying that I will go through the cards and read their effects and go over any anime references. There's really not many anime references. There's only like one or two that I've been able to spot, so maybe I'm just missing a bunch, but certainly if you guys have any, please feel free to fill in the gaps in the comments. And without further ado, let's just get into it, man. Rokket Loader is the first card, which is an effect monster. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one level 7 Dark Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except dark monsters. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up monster on the field. It becomes dark until the end of this turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, my favorite color is green. This is probably my favorite of the three effect monsters we are getting in terms of design, and it seems like it's a pretty decent card. I mean, it's a search, but it's a very specific search for that level 7 Dark Dragon. The graveyard effect doesn't seem too useful, but you know, I mean, the cards seem like they're okay. I mean, I've gone through them. It seems like they're okay. The next one we're getting feels more Revolver in terms of its design. I don't know why. I always just associate that like orange metallic design color with Revolver's deck, and that is Hollow Rokket Dragon. You can only use each effect once per turn. When a Link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, as a quick effect, you can destroy this card, then excavate up to 6 cards from the top of your opponent's deck, and if you do, banish one of them, and then place the rest on the top of the deck in the same order. And then during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed on the field by battle or card effect and sent there this turn, you can special summon one Rokket monster from your deck, except Hollow Rokket Dragon. So it feels like this effect, you need some pretty specific circumstances in order to get it off. You need this monster to be targeted by a Link monster, which I guess your own Link monster could target this card, and then you get to see what your opponent is going to draw and banish one of those cards, which I guess is somewhat useful, but it certainly doesn't seem crazy. And that level 7 Dark monster that we talked about at the beginning, that the first monster we went over, Rokket Loader's effect lets you search, you might want to search Rokket Detonator, which is a new level 7 monster we are getting, Dark Dragon. You can only special summon with this first effect once per turn. You can only use the second effect once per turn. If you control a Dark Dragon Link monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. That's always a very good effect, especially in Link decks. You can target one Dark Dragon monster in your spell and trap zone, special summon it, but it cannot attack. Its effects are negated. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except dark monsters. So that's just a good effect to get another monster on the field for a Link summon. So those are the three effect monsters we're getting. I really don't think there's any like direct reference to VRAINS or to Revolver, sadly. So yeah, it just unfortunately is not like the best cards in terms of a lot of cool callbacks, but we're getting some cool extra deck monsters, that's for sure. And the first one is Boral Fatal Flare Dragon. First of all, love the name, love the design. The lines in this dragon, especially like the purple lines in its body, remind me a lot of like Decode Talker's color scheme, maybe even a little Firewall Dragon-esque with the lines in general. So I really, really love that this is kind of a bit of a splitting image to the design pattern on Decode Talker, which of course is Revolver's rival in the show, Playmaker. The materials to summon: 1 Dark Link monster and 1 Dark monster. Each effect is once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can add 1 Rokket monster from your deck to your hand. You can target 1 Dark monster you control, equip 1 Dark Link monster from your graveyard or banishment to it as an equip spell that gives it 500 attack. And then remember, Rokket Detonator, the monster we just went over, can then special summon that monster, but it just can't attack or use its effects. It's really just there for link fodder. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. So it seems like it's a pretty decent monster. You know, the goal would be to still probably link into something bigger and to get that third effect off where you can target a card on the field and destroy it. I mean, it seems all right. It feels like it's a pretty high cost, but just for something that probably should be used as link fodder. But you know, it is what it is. The next one we're getting, and man, this monster is just looks like it's out of like AI hell. Boral Shroud Dragon, which is a link 5 3,500 attack point monster. The materials: 3 or more effect monsters. Your opponent cannot tribute this card on the field. Once per turn during the main phase, as a quick effect, you can target 1 Rokket monster you control, negate the effects of 1 face-up card your opponent controls, then destroy that monster. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation, which is really cool. And of course, you can do that on both turns. And then once while face-up on the field at the start of the battle phase, you can special summon 1 Link 4 or lower Boral Link monster from your extra deck, which also seems like a pretty worthwhile effect. So this is probably the best card in this set in terms of strength, in my opinion. Not only do you get that quick effect where you can negate a face-up card your opponent controls, you also have the ability at the start of your battle phase to special summon a Link 4 Boral Link monster from your extra deck. And the first effect's kind of weird, just that your opponent cannot tribute this card on the field. I guess that protects it from like kaijus and stuff. Kind of an interesting effect to have, but the second and third effects seem useful nonetheless. And then another link monster we're getting is Triboral Dragon, or Triboral Dragon. It's a link 3 monster. 2 or more Dark Dragon monsters, including a Rokket monster. So definitely more specific than the link 5 in terms of summoning requirements. Each effect is once per turn. If this card is link summoned, you can add 1 rapid trigger, heavy interlock, or double trigger from your deck to your hand, so a good spell search there. And you can target 1 face-up card you control and 1 Dark Dragon monster in your graveyard, destroy that card on the field, and if you do, add that other monster to your hand. And if the card you target is the second monster we went over, Hollow Rokket Dragon, that will allow you to excavate the top 6 cards of your opponent's deck and banish 1. So that's an easy, consistent way to get that effect off. But again, you have to have that monster on the field. So, you know, seems... And I also don't know how useful that effect even is. Like, yeah, it's cool. You can see what your opponent is going to draw, but the second your opponent does anything where they special summon or search from deck, the deck then gets shuffled. So, you know, it's very, like, short-term knowledge, but I guess it could be useful in certain situations. We are getting a spell and we are getting a trap. Double trigger is the spell we are getting. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect once per turn. You can either fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing material from your grave, including a Rokket monster, or ritual summon 1 ritual monster from your hand by banishing monsters from your graveyard whose total levels equal or exceed that monster's level, including a Rokket monster. I always love when you can ritual summon, even if the levels exceed what the ritual monster is. It just makes it a lot easier to ritual summon. And the cards that are on this artwork: Auto Rokket Dragon, Magna Rokket Dragon, and Boral Riot Dragon. And Riot Dragon is a ritual monster. So you can see kind of the fusion between Magna and Auto. And then, of course, you have Boral Riot Dragon as well, just chilling in the background, resembling the fusion, and and the ritual possibilities. So I really like this card artwork a lot, and any card that lets you summon from the grave by banishing material is always helpful because you don't have to utilize resources either on your field or on your hand. But probably the coolest anime reference, I know a lot of you guys might be watching and saying, where the hell are the anime references? Well, either I'm doing a sloppy job and missing a bunch, or there's really just not many, because I'm telling you, I have not been able to really spot many in this set. But this is certainly one, probably the coolest. Boral Reboot. And this artwork is taken, I'm showing you the scene, directly from a scene in episode 11 when Triboral Dragon is link summoned for the very first time. Really, really cool. Playmaker Revolver, it's actually their second duel. Remember, their first duel ended in a draw, and then they immediately went into a master duel. And in that master duel, the first time they had a master duel against each other, Triboral Dragon was summoned. We got this scene. They turned it into a card artwork. One of my favorite things when the card game does this. You can activate this card from your hand by paying half your life points. When your opponent activates a spell/trap, if you control a Rokket or Boral monster, negate the activation, and if you do, set that card. It cannot be activated this turn. So that is a really cool trap card. Any trap card that you can activate from your hand is always a really useful trap card in most cases, and that seems really, really useful. But the artwork is definitely probably the coolest anime tie-in artwork that we are getting in this wave. But really cool. It's awesome that another VRAINS character is getting some support. It's funny because there's still so many VRAINS characters that don't have their decks printed, and the ones that do continue to get some pretty good, consistent support throughout the years. But when will we see Lightning's deck? When will we see Windy's deck, Bowman's deck, Blood Shepherd's deck? I mean, there's so many characters, and we'll just have to be patient and see. But guys, let me know all your thoughts on the wave here in Burst Protocol. It feels like these cards are, like, decent. I don't think any of them are like crazy, but you guys are the experts, and I always learn a lot from the comment sections of these videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you in the comments, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.